Have you ever done this? Finally gather the courage to speak up about something that's been bothering you in a relationship. Maybe you've been feeling taken for granted. Maybe the balance feels off. You give and give while they barely notice. So you take a deep breath and you say something. And somehow, by the end of the conversation, you're the one apologizing. If that scene makes your stomach clench with recognition, you are not alone. And more importantly, you are not crazy and you are not the problem. Today, we're going to look at what's really happening in these moments. There's actually a name for this dynamic. There's psychology behind why it works. And most importantly, there's a way out. Let me paint a picture for you. Partner one has been feeling taken for granted for months. They give and give and give, while their partner seems completely oblivious to the imbalance. Here's the thing about that obliviousness, though. Sometimes it's not innocent. Sometimes it's convenient. Partner two appears unaware, but deep down, they know. They know they're taking advantage. They know the arrangement serves them, and they have no incentive to change it. So partner one keeps giving until one day they reach their limit. The resentment has built up enough that they can't stay silent anymore. They speak up. They name the imbalance. They ask for change. And then something strange happens. Partner two doesn't say, "You're right, I've been taking you for granted, I'm sorry." Instead, they act shocked, wounded, like they're the victim here. Suddenly, partner one isn't expressing a legitimate need. They're being unreasonable. They're attacking. They're too sensitive. And partner one, they start to doubt themselves. Maybe I am being unreasonable. Maybe I did come on too strong. And then they apologize for speaking up, for having a need, for wanting to be treated fairly. Partner two makes a few small changes, just enough to restore peace, and the cycle eventually resets. Sound familiar? Let's talk about what's actually happening here, because this isn't just poor communication. This is a predictable psychological pattern with several moving parts. First, the covert contract. Every long-term relationship operates on unspoken agreements. These covert contracts are the invisible expectations we have about fairness, care, and reciprocity. When partner one finally speaks up, they're not starting a fight. They're trying to renegotiate a contract that partner two has been silently violating. The confrontation isn't the problem. It's a symptom of a broken agreement. Second, the convenient obliviousness. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Partner two isn't actually oblivious. Secretly knowing you're taking advantage while maintaining the appearance of ignorance is a choice. It's not negligence, it's calculated convenience. The imbalance benefits them, so why disturb it? Now, when partner one finally confronts the issue, partner two's reaction follows a pattern that psychologists have actually named. It's called DARVO. Let me break this down. D stands for deny. I had no idea you felt this way. I'm shocked you'd think that about me. This isn't genuine surprise. It's a tactic to make you question whether your perception is accurate. A stands for attack. You're being so unreasonable right now. After everything I do for you, this is how you treat me? The goal here is to put you on the defensive, to shift the focus from their behavior to your unreasonableness. RVO stands for reverse victim and offender. This is the cruelest part. Suddenly, they're not the one who's been taking advantage. They're the victim. They're the one being attacked. You're the offender. And here's why this works so well. It hijacks the moral high ground. The person who was being taken advantage of becomes the quote-unquote aggressor. The person who is taking advantage becomes the quote-unquote victim. And if you've got a conscience, if you genuinely care about being a good person, this tactic creates immediate confusion and guilt. So why does partner one end up apologizing? Why do we fall for this? It's not weakness, it's psychology. When confronted with DARVO, partner one experiences cognitive dissonance. Their lived experience, being neglected, being taken for granted, is suddenly being invalidated. To resolve this mental discomfort, the brain starts questioning its own perception. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I am too sensitive. Guilt. The accusation of being unreasonable triggers a deep fear, the fear of being seen as the bad guy. For many of us, especially those raised to be peacekeepers, this is almost unbearable. The fawn response. This is a trauma reaction. When we feel threatened, our nervous system has several options: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. Fawning means we try to appease the perceived aggressor to restore safety and peace. It's not giving in, it's survival instinct. So partner one apologizes for the very act of self-advocacy, and in doing so, they reinforce the belief that their feelings are a burden and that keeping the peace matters more than mutual respect. After the apology, something often happens. Partner two changes. Briefly, they're kinder, more attentive. For a little while, it feels like things might actually be different. This is called intermittent reinforcement, and it's psychologically addictive. Think about a slot machine. If you won every time, it wouldn't be exciting. But if you win sometimes, just enough to keep hoping, you'll keep pulling that lever forever. In relationships, this creates what therapists call a trauma bond. The occasional crumbs of kindness become more valuable than consistent respect would be. You stay, hoping for more of the good version of them. You endure the cycle because the good moments feel so relieving after the bad. But here's the truth. Those good moments aren't transformation. They're damage control, because the underlying dynamic never changes. The entitlement remains. And eventually, partner two will revert to taking advantage. The cycle resets. Over time, this cycle erodes self-trust. Partner one stops believing their own perceptions. They second-guess every feeling. They wonder if they really are too much, too sensitive, too demanding. They start monitoring their own behavior obsessively, not out of genuine self-reflection, but out of fear. Fear of triggering another conflict. Fear of being the bad guy again. Meanwhile, the problem was never their unreasonableness. The problem is a systemic pattern of manipulation designed to maintain control through guilt and confusion. And that pattern cannot coexist with a healthy relationship. So how do you break this cycle? Here are 4 steps. Step 1, name it. The next time you feel that familiar guilt after speaking up, ask yourself, am I actually being unreasonable, or am I being DARVO'd? Naming the pattern weakens its power. When you can say, oh, this is that thing again, you're no longer lost in it, you're observing it. Step 2, refuse the reversal. When they act shocked and wounded, try this script. I'm not attacking you. I'm naming something that's hurting our relationship. Can we stay focused on the actual issue? This refuses the victim-offender reversal. It keeps the conversation where it belongs. Step 3, trust your timeline. That brief behavior change after conflict, it's not transformation. Real change is consistent over time, weeks and months, not days, initiated by them, not performed for you, accompanied by genuine accountability, not deflection. Wait 3 months before believing it's real. Step 4, get outside perspective. Gaslighting works best in isolation. Talk to a trusted friend who knows you both, a therapist, individual first, then possibly couples, a support group. Other people can see what guilt and fear keep you from seeing. If you recognize this pattern in your life, I want you to ask yourself one question. If nothing changed, if this cycle continued for another 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, would you be okay with that? Because the only person you can control is you. You can't make them stop taking advantage. You can't make them take accountability, but you can stop apologizing for having needs. Stop accepting temporary fixes as real change. Start trusting your own perception again. You deserve relationships where speaking up leads to connection, not confusion, not guilt, not cycles that leave you doubting yourself. If this resonated with you, I found something that might help. The Drama Doctor is a complete guide to recognizing and escaping patterns just like this one. It includes 100+ pages of practical tools, 20+ boundary scripts for every situation, worksheets to help you map your own patterns, and video meditation with script to rebuild self-trust. You can find it on Etsy. Link is in the description below. And if this video helped you, please like and subscribe. More than that, save it. Share it with someone who needs to hear it. Because the more we talk about these patterns, the less power they have over us. Thanks for watching. Take care of yourself. You matter more than this cycle wants you to believe.